That's right, you read the title correctly. We are off to Cape York again, so naturally, extremely excited. However, this time, a bit different. I'm taking the old girl, the LN. Bit of an episode, running you guys through everything we're doing to get this ready for Dad Bus for a trip like that. Probably, to this point, will be the biggest trip yet. It's been out to Fink Desert. It's been all through New South Wales, but Cape York is very hard on the vehicles, so you want to be prepared before you go. Particularly when it's a classic like this. I think this would actually be considered a classic now. So yeah, so this episode we're going to run through how I finished this little winch cradle off. It's all on and operational. Going to run you through all the spare parts I intend on taking on this trip with the tools, and hopefully it gives you guys some sort of indicator if you plan on a big trip like this, particularly in an older full drive like this. Hopefully it gives you an idea of what to potentially pack yourself. And we are on a bit of a timeline. So what you're going to see on the channel is this episode, and then a couple from Tasmania. We were down there to film for the TFI competition. And then after that, we get stuck into the Cape series.
Holy snap reduction! Is that a run bar?
He's shocked.
Never let us down, so...
Nah, it'll do the trick, eh?
It'll do the trick. And it even says on the box, 5-year electrical warranty, limited mechanical warranty, lifetime mechanical...
It's the 4x4 Australian winch test winner, Macca.
And it's Australia tested and approved superior winch technology.
Yeah, how good is this, guys? It's the black one. It's going to match the car. So I've gone with the Runbar 9.5 Evo, which I believe this one is. It's their new sort of black and carbon grey rope. It looks really, really cool. Just looking at a few specifications here, I'll give you some spicy numbers. So it's a 9,500 pounds, so it's got a 4,300 kilo rated line pull. We're going to get a whopping 2.8 horsepower out of this bad boy, so it's almost as much power as a Jimny.
Till you supercharge it, and then you got more.
The gear ratio is 228 to 1. Okay, time to throw the winch on, guys. So, pretty easy. It is actually very easy. All the wires are color-coded, so basically, if you're connecting a blue wire to a yellow wire, you're the idiot. It isn't hard to get this one right. Make sure you don't forget the earth underneath this winch. Very simple, but for some reason, every time we've put these on, we're like, why isn't it working? Time to throw the bolts into the frame of the winch, bolt it to my cradle, and hoist it back into the car.
Got a quick mid-time interview. Scale of 1 to 10, how pissed off are you at this job? If you had your time again, would you have come around this afternoon?
Yes.
Oh, there you have it, folks. How many beers are going to be consumed at the end of this?
All of them! Well, it's dark now, so we got it in the long run.
I'm not going to lie, the grinder did come out a few times, and so I subbed in for a little bit.
It's not even wide.
Yeah, you're right. It's not wide yet, but that's the Sparky's job.
Turns out that it didn't actually go in all that easy because we had to trim the bar and...
Look at this, Sully's already in a jammies. That's how dark it is.
Yeah. Decided to spend some money and get a good winch hook for the front of the car, so it matches, black and all. Yeah, safe to say, winch bar and winch is finished, guys. Now I just want to test it, actually run the line on properly to make sure that it doesn't pull into itself. What's going on, Mac? The bull bar's still on the car.
It must work.
It must work. That's not a heavy winch though, but you know, bit of peace of mind.
There's no one driving the car.
Oh no, what's bloody going on here, mate? Oh, he's got a live one. He's got a live one.
So we're practicing. It's our pit stop for the Cape if we need a new belt on this thing.
Yeah.
Now we've worked out we can get a spanner down there. We can
do the old double lever trick-a-rama.
Double lever, so 14 and a 13mm king chrome spanner.
Now I'm going to use this as a spare because it's squeaking like a bastard.
Yeah, this thing's been squealing. We might have to take the Shed Life parts car down to get another one.
1 KD length.
Oh, remember?
Yeah, the belt trick.
Yeah, remember when your dad would chase you with the belt? He'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you, you little shit." I'd be like, "Yeah, woo!" The best part was when Dad smashed a wooden spoon over my brother, and he was a man child. He's a lot bigger than me.
And he turned around and said, "You right, mate?"
He snapped it on him, and he laughed at him.
Jeez, I'm in the parts runner here, guys. Don't know why she's idling so high. That's kind of concerning. Well, the idles dropped down, guys. Maybe it was just a warm-up thing, eh? Holy. Clutch engages like instantly. And this is Mac's toy car. It's an S15. Are you kidding me? That's too fast. Too furious. I've got my belt. Oh, you got double clutch this bad boy to get her in gear. So this is the very start of ticking up parts for the Cape trip. Because I'm automatic, probably going to want a starter motor and an alternator, which is not going to be cheap, is it?
7 PK. So what that means is there is 7, I guess you'd call them mountains.
So 7 peaks.
7 peaks, that's a good way to think of it. And 6 valleys. So, but then it's the opposite on there. Anyway, I'm gonna stop confusing the viewers here.
Goes on there, guys.
Goes on there. Now, before you go and take your belt off, it's a good idea, especially if you've got custom setups. I think this is factory N70, could be wrong.
Draw how it went on.
Draw a little map of how it went on.
Oh, no, shouldn't be
And
too
this tensioner, not most of them, not all of them have tensioners. Some of them are like stretch fit.
Yeah, I was wondering this. Do I...
If you have a stretch fit, you're gonna have a bad time. So you put a spanner on the pulley here, pivot this around. So this swings, and as this swings, the belt gets looser.
So yeah, the plan is we'll throw this new one on. It will be whisper quiet. That's the plan. And then I'll use the old one as a spare for the trip.
Good morning, operation, what's this operation called? Get ready for Cape. Now, I guess one of the first things you need to do if you're heading to the Cape is make sure you have a diff in the back of your car that's not broken. The Cruiser, I don't even see it in the background there, has been down at 8 speed. The boys were just doing some tuning now that the stroker motor's in on the gearbox, and the diff decided to let go. It's been a thing that keeps happening. It kind of sucks. Found an issue why it might be happening, so I'll run you through now what we've done to try and fix what's going on. Oh, while we're here, I bought the S15 down, but we're gonna run it up on the dyno. Buckton's gonna give it a little tickle up. But let me know in the comments if you wanna see more of the S15. So I swapped my S14 drift car, the track car that can't be registered, for a registered S15. Just got the diff back from Geared Up Drivelines, our good man Diff Guide up there. Now this is the first one he's built for my Cruiser. However, one thing we found is it actually isn't anything to do with how the diffs have been assembled. Even the one Pooley made was just exactly to spec with a solid spacer, absolutely everything you could do to these diffs. And that had the 488 ratio diffs, which yes, they are weaker, but that one actually let go the same way this recent 3.9 let go. So this section here, this is actually the bearing cap. So this cap holds this bearing in, which holds the center of the diff. Now what happened is these bolts here, so much torque actually pushed the center out like that, probably the other way, but it pushed it out, which bent these bolts. So the actual bolts, even though they were tight in there, they bent. And because that bent, it created a gap, which created tolerances. So then the bearing became loose, and then this whole center was walking forward and back like this and up and down. And it eventually just chipped teeth off from the pinion not being lined up properly. So what we've gone and done is we've located some ARP bolts. I would have loved to have used studs. Studs you can torque up even harder again. Look, this is all I could get. That's the right length, the right pitch, the right everything for this Toyota diff. So these are ARP bolts. The torque spec on them was 90, I think Newton meters or foot pound, might have been foot pound. But anyway, Josh has followed all that. They're meant to be a lot stronger, so fingers crossed It's all good. I will note, this Harrop just doesn't die. So it's survived about 4 diff explosions now and it's still kicking. So there's a bit of a testament to the old Harrops. Okay, one other thing I'll mention. These gears I'm using are terrain tamers and I've gone with the 4:3 ratio. Now, one of the main reasons I've gone with terrain tamer is they are just so accessible to parts. It's ridiculous how fast they can get parts out. Rather impressive, to be honest. So, look, I've gone with them for that reason. Let you guys know how these go. But like I said, the last 2 diff explosions has not been really gear related. I believe it was the bolts bending. The ones before that, probably the 4.8 nitros I had, that first one that broke kind of just broke. There was no real reason that we could find for that. And, oh, that's the other thing too. The 4.3's actually come out of a 105 Land Cruiser. So worst comes to worst, I can go down to Toyota, buy a brand new, fully assembled, unlocked 4:3 ratio diff and we'll keep it going.
My abs aren't as hard as they used to be. The younger generation hasn't bench pressed a diff before, and it shows. Oh God.
Like you were like hugging your wheel.
I was.
Welcome to my garage, guys. This, you might be wondering, what the heck is that? This is a vinyl kit. At the moment, I currently have black carpet inside, which is really nice. Cape York, it's going to be deep water crossings, muddy water, red dirt, PDR. 2-3 weeks of wet carpet is not what you want on a trip. It's going to stink. All things, it's all bad. Vinyl it is. And luckily for me, I found it in black or grey. So I think it was like Knox Auto Carpets was the website I got it on. Comes as 2 pieces and they're contoured to the shape of the floor. It's pretty easy. You just got to take out 2 seats, cut holes for your transmission and where the seats bolt through. Oh, look at me go, guys. Got a rattle gun with black sockets. Let's warm the beast up. Boom! Today we are going to Kaizenfab. Nick, he's helping me out with my ECU relocation.
First I left pretty early, and that's because we're on the Bruce. It's Friday. I do not want to be coming home in that shit show.
Oh, welcome to Kaizenfab's new bloody home base, mate.
Yeah, a bit going on here.
What are you doing? What are you taking my car apart for?
The last job that you do on a car when you engine swap it is always mount the ECU.
Yeah.
So when you're telling me you're going to go 6 foot deep in Eli Creek.
Eli Creek, mate.
What's the one at the Cape? Take this up a bit.
Yeah.
Not that I doubt the Surf. I think it's a pretty capable rig, but
yeah.
You never know when you get stitched up. And I don't want to be called when you're up there.
Well, I got your phone. Yours is like #1 in my favourites list. Nick has thought, I think this is next level, but you think taking a spare ECU is killer. End of the world scenario.
That is the one thing. Even if the car floods up to here, everything else in the harness, everything else will survive.
Except that.
But if this gets flooded and just gets a little bit of stuff on the wrong area, it could end your day. We
organised that?
Yes.
So spare ECU, and you flashed on the tune to make it drive.
Yep.
So it will actually drive the car.
Yep.
And I should be unstoppable.
Yeah, it's just a straight plug out, plug in. So hopefully it never comes to that. And I mean, my Surf's been up to just under the windowsill in water and hasn't died, but
So my go-tos are starter motor and alternator, but Nick's like, nah, ECU. So I've got that as well. So we've got parts. I've done the vinyl floor because carpet's gonna stink. And I raised my sub and amp up because that would suck too if they died. No music. It's quite the shed though, mate, I must say. Look at this. You know how you've made it? You've got not one, but 2 car stackers. Well, 3 technically. So Nick approves of the new bar, thinks it's all right. Compound turbo version of this is sitting right here. On coils too, no leaf springs to be seen. We might be the only 1KD surfs kicking around, eh Nick?
I'd say there's a pretty good chance not anyone else is silly enough to do it, so. Am I on it? I'm on it.
Mate, you look so comfortable.
Oh, I'm really stoked in here. Actually, if you run out of tent space when you're up at the Cape,
this is the spot, eh?
you can just put it in here. Yeah, you know, better safe than sorry.
It's safe to say this lid's never coming off again.
Oh, it'll come off again at some point, I'm sure. We're only using the Povo spec silicon. It's not ultra black, so, and there's only a little bit on there. TJ spare. just
a spare ECU.
Yeah, like, so you got headlight bulbs, tail light bulbs, and your spare ECU. That's all you need. What could go wrong?
I'm set. Now, you know what won't break is the ECU.
Exactly right.
Because I have one. It's only things you don't have that go wrong, guys. Absolute find of the century. Snorkel had...
I think this is just pulled out.
The snorkel had pulled out and left a centimetre gap. Straight into the airbox.
Direct fit.
Add a little duckbill vent to the bottom of this because it didn't have one. It was just a hole that was going to leak.
Water goes out, water goes in. Not very good when TJ gets bogged in Nolan's because Max stopped in front of him.
It actually doesn't have any diff breathers, so front and rear diff, gearbox and transfer, okay.
We'll do all 4.
Got 4 to do. Luckily there's 4 ports on the old Harrop manifold thingamajig. It's like they thought about it really, isn't it?
It's like they might have done it before.
Yeah.
Maybe they're like an engineering company that makes stuff that fits.
I actually had a question recently, which you might be able to field, Nicholas. What loom and ECU did we use for this engine?
We used a stock Hilux loom that we modify at Kaizen Fab.
N70?
Yeah, N70, and it's a stock N70 ECU as well.
There you go. See, I thought I could answer that, and I would have guessed right. And then I was like, oh, maybe do I know?
What if?
What if? Breathe lines coming together. And you've got the fun one.
If anyone wants to know,
yeah.
Harrop supplies everything you need to do the kit, but there's no motivation or band-aids for the back of your hands when doing this one.
Okay.
As you can see right now, that's the angle the control arm's on at full droop. As it comes up, you'll see this center point moves. And the center of our rim is currently about 140 mil. Center of the wheel arch, so we're about 140 mil this way. Now, what I'm gonna show you guys is how far back this wheel moves as the shock travels up. And as this one's traveling backwards, the other one's traveling forwards, which is putting an angle on the diff. This is how much the rear diff turns. I'll try and show you guys on a different angle that, but look how far back this wheel has traveled. Turn the diff, and that is what creates rear steer. Now that is excessive because this is stock geometry, but with way too longer shocks. This is the travel of your shock. So this is how far from fully compressed to fully flexed out, your wheel is going to travel. Now, with a super long arm, it hasn't moved forward and back very far. Now, with a short arm, it has traveled a long way forward and a long way back. Now, keep in mind, one side, when you're fully flexed out, one side is up here. So your, say, right-hand diff, right-hand side wheel, it's back here, it's fully compressed. And your left-hand wheel is down here and it's fully forward. So that has in turn turned your diff. Now when your diff turns, it starts to rear steer you around. So we've chosen to limit the travel because it is just, it's way too excessive. There's too much going on. We don't want to bother with re-engineering this thing. It's already engineered. Plan B, gonna bang these shocks in. So we've got some fresh Superior Engineering shocks. Now they're slightly shorter, but by Ango's measurements, we should gain more up travel anyway. Not that we really want too much more, but we'll get more up travel, less down travel, and we're only gonna lose 1 inch overall. But it's the down travel that's our issue. You'll see how that level is legit pointing out of the shed. Getting in there. I haven't moved this. I hopefully didn't bump it. I don't think I did. But with the new shock installed at full droop, we are 60 mil further back. So we've now limited that steer at least 60 mil. Might look at longer arms maybe in the future, just to eliminate it a little bit more again. But the only thing I got left to do is put the springs in. So I'm gonna take the new parts car. So a few people have been very excited about the old S15. So you guys might remember I built an S14 drift car. I actually filmed a drift episode, but we never put it up just because, you know, we're more four-wheel drive. So leave a comment below if you want to see the S15 get built at all. It won't be for a very long time. I just needed a car that's registered and can drive around and doesn't just sit out the front of my house, because I do not have any time or a tow car lately to be able to go drifting. Okay, Diff God has arrived. He's helping me, well, re-gear the front diff. So, yay! Now, this episode is after the K-Truck, so the 14 bolt has been done. You would have seen Josh on that episode. And anyone's out there building a diff, or if you're a mechanic shop, you need diffs building, absolutely anything. Or if you need diff parts even, or if you need anything like terrain tamer or anything like that, give Josh a ring. You can order it all through him and he can hook you up.
It's so majestic, Josh.
Ah, majestic as, yeah.
What are you inspecting now?
Oh.
Don't get me worried like that.
Flash, mate.
High tech, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at that, billet arms.
For those wondering at home, that is a Hill Fab diff holder.
It's a DIY kit, so it's a weld together one. But I got Kyle at Parker's shed to weld it together for me.
Oh, he welded it up. And I just made this bracket that bolts on, that the jaws can grab on instead of bolting it to the bench. All right, this is a pretty cool, nifty little thing. If you want to buy one, Hill Fab. And yeah, you got to weld it together. And
I think they do pre-made ones too.
they also do pre-made ones. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it's like,
That has been caught by Terrain Tamer. They have tamed the gear.
Whoa!
whoa, you wouldn't believe it. Yeah, no, look at that.
Terrain tamed.
Terrain tamed.
We'll see how these go, eh? I have broken every other gear that comes my way, so...
Well, they're not broken, those other ones.
No, you're alright. They're factory Toyota ones. They didn't break. Just the rear ones did. But it also, the last time wasn't the gear's fault, was it? It was the cap. But the bolts that hold them in bent, yeah?
On the rear, yeah, and then on this one, the nut was in the wrong position.
So...
Hi, do you like me from this angle?
I love you from that
Oh,
angle.
sweet. But yeah, we can do this now.
Whoa.
So there we go.
So what happened is,
They went like, brr.
like that, and then I could go... Bugger off, I got your beers right there.
A beer? That's not dinner.
Anyway, it's looking good.
Yeah,
so
we're
it's
getting
got to set the backlash.
Yeah, well,
set
this is the first run that we're going to go through with it, so we're going to see where it is marking up, and then, yeah, we'll dial it in.
Pull the pinion back out because it's solid spacer, but
I don't want to.
no.
We're just going to run it even if the gears aren't even meshed
I
right. It's
agree.
only used, so.
And it's only the front diff, so.
Gives it a leaky dip.
Get the tape like towel shaft at the same time. Alright, cool part about these chromoly CVs is with my handy King Chrome grease gun, I can grease the CV from the front. I've done about 120,000 Ks of abuse and my car exceeds most travel limitations. You know, it's a very flexy boy, has a lot of long range travel, puts a lot of stress on bushes. Now they're all actually pretty fine, but I've been slowly replacing them all anyway. So I've got like, I think 10,000 Ks ago, we did new radius arm bushes. We've done the lower control arm bushes when I put the billet ones in. So there's just a couple things left, and that's just the rear upper arm. So going to go through, replace them now. Then I can get this back off the hoist, put the chromies back on, and start working through the rest of the list. New upper arms, sorry. Going to replace these bad boys. So anyway, I got some heavy duty coils to put in the back, and hopefully that's going to fix up my little lean situation and make everything drive really nice. We're on to some more things. Now you guys might remember back in Western Australia when my windscreen wipers stopped working. Now this was after the Simpson Desert. It's had a lot of washes since then. The wipers have started working again. So I'm gonna give that a whirl now. And then I'm gonna try and find my brackets. I'm gonna put my spotties back on. This mod I've been meaning to do for a very, very long time. And that is the Pirate Camp Co. gas struts. I've done it on so many of these giveaway cars and I still haven't even done it on mine. Okay, well I'm most certainly making this up as I go, but I've got the vent off. There was just a few screws. I'm going to pop these plastic vents off. Try and grease it all up basically. That is one of the linkages in there, and as you can see, it's very caked up with crap. It's looking like I'm gonna unbolt all of this stuff and pull it out, clean it up. If you have slow wipers or not working wipers, check this first, because it is a thing.
Oh, get rid of your TDI mud flaps. Not because they're crap, but because we got something better.
We got superior engineering, but
That's pretty boring.
this is the boring part. Cool part. Press these two buttons. Boom. Mud flap off.
That is pretty cool. Does mud get stuck in them, but like?
No, because there's an O-ring in there,
Oh,
and on the back it's brass on aluminium, so it'll never corrode and bind up. Ango's very excited about it. He's like, "Oi, I've got a present." I was like, "What is it?" He's been working on these for a while, and that's sick. So we'll get them on, and I'll show you how they work. All right, so these actually come with an angled piece for like trade mud flaps, or a straight one for a lot of cars. Even comes with a little Allen key, which I'm not going to use because I have King Chrome tools. Alright, so that's going to go in there.
Matt, this one's a bit thin, eh, mate?
Yeah, mate, get it.
Yeah, nice.
How good's that? And then boom, ready? Oh. When you're off-road. Alright, we might have to bang the TDI ones on because they're a bit wider, so they need to cover more of the tyres.
A fair bit of work done so far, so let's talk spare parts and tools. Biggest necessity of all, we can see right away, fire extinguisher. Always good to take, guys, especially if you have modified vehicles with wiring that you've done yourself. It's actually kind of heavy, it's got all my stuff in it. King Chrome cargo case available from your local King Chrome dealer. So, really cool. Obviously waterproof and dustproof, which is what you need when you have a ute, like me. So let's get stuck into what I've put in here so far. A couple of things in here that haven't arrived yet. A spare alternator and starter motor, mainly the starter motor because this is an automatic vehicle. Just for my own peace of mind, I like to carry one. Probably could have just got away with brushes for the alternator, but I have a whole one on the way. Top of the car, snorkel pre-filters. I've got a couple of those for the 4-inch snorkel. Definitely help prolong the life of your air filter. However, also have a complete spare air filter because from experience, 1 to 2 weeks and these are cooked. So I should be right, this is about a 2 to 3 week trip, so that should get me through. Can of Inox, got a spare lead in case we end up at caravan parks or whatever and we can charge. Lug nuts, or wheel nuts, sorry. Tie downs, because this is a ute. A spare container of random nuts and bolts that fit Toyotas. Always a good idea. Some emergency SOS silicone tape. Never have had to use it, but who knows. Ooh, a random soft shackle. That'll go in the recovery gear. Random bushes, probably don't need that. Wheel studs. Okay, so this is probably one that's kind of recommended if you're hitting heaps of corrugations. I don't know about my studs, so I've got a spare 6 of those. Remember to buy wheel nuts too, because if your wheel studs break off, it's a pretty good chance your wheel nuts are gone. Spare radiator fluid, in case for some reason you get a slight leak and you need to keep topping that thing up. It's a random assortment of zip ties. Now this is one Jono gave me. Window washer. How good is that? You mightn't think that much of this, but a bit of a game changer when you're going through dusty conditions or driving long time at night, all the bugs and stuff on your window. And you've got old-fashioned window wipers. That thing is really good to have. Ooh, I've even got a spare ECU, which I would have thought is overboard, but Nick reckons it will be super handy if it goes bad. Spare isolator switch, although I'm about to swap it out for the good one anyways. The big bad boy socket for the front axle, in case I need to take that apart, or Mac, I should say. Hub kit, spare hub kit, in case I break a hub. Assorted drill bits, Phillips, Allen key heads, and actual drill bits for drilling through things. Spare belts, I actually just put a brand new belt on that recently, which you would have just seen. I don't know if that's necessary. Oh, gasket maker, random wiring, in case we need to wire something. Spare O-ring kit, because I've got custom pipe work and all that. I've got these in case for some reason they blow out. Couple of spare hoses. Oh, actually in this random assorted, I've got the hose clamps for each of my hoses in there. And spare bulbs for my tail lights. Into some of the tools, side cutters. Got a king chrome drill, rattle gun, grinder, king chrome jump starter. It's super important you take one of them if you're going remote, or you have jumper leads, one or the other. This is a tyre puncture repair kit. Obviously I'll take a spare tyre, lug nuts that work for your spare tyre, because we've got different wheels, so I think these ones do work. However, I've got king chrome 128 piece kit, which you always see pretty much all of us running in all the videos. Basically got everything you're going to need on a trip. Oh, this is a bit of a random one. I got 2 brand new tail lights. Everyone's like, TJ, put new tail lights in. And I'm like, I did, literally like a year ago. They only last that long. They are off eBay. They're only 30 bucks for a pair, but it's almost cheaper to replace the whole light than just to get new bulbs. Probably the most important thing I could recommend you take, particularly if you have one of these new type of vehicles, is a spare key or 2, and put them somewhere that you're going to be able to get to if you lose your main key. What a dumb way to have to get your car recovered. You just can't turn it on. Absolute pain in the ass. You don't want that happening. Take a spare key, guys. At this point, I may actually have a bit more stuff to add, but this was just a bit of a rundown to show you what I intend on taking. If you think that I've missed something from that kit, let me know, because there is about a week from this video going on, which I can add to it, and that would be extremely handy if you remind me of what I've forgotten. Trip videos coming up. Tasmania, Cape York. Absolutely stoked that the LN is coming with me. Probably the biggest trip it's going to do to this day. Very eager to see how she goes. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys.